Alright, how's it going, guys? Today I figured we would I'd go over some more Windows 10 tips. I know I keep switching back and forth between Windows 10 and not Windows 10, but I figured I would give you guys the best of both worlds. So we got the people who's using Windows 10 and people using Linux. So um, the first tip I want to go over is if you ever go in when you're in Windows 10, you know this giant start menu that you're stuck with all these tiles and useless crap on the screen, and it's just a bunch of so much to look at. It takes up look at the majority of the screen. It's just so much. Well, what if you could go back to the start menu you used to have, where it took up like just a little bit of screen space, and you had everything right there without all those useless ugly tiles. Well, there is something. It's called Classic Shell. You can go to their website, classicshell.net, and download it, and it's provided free of charge. There's no fee to pay, although they do ask that you donate. There's no problem with it, and it'll bring you back that start menu. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like here. You just open up the installer after you download it. Alright, and it says welcome to the Classic Shell Setup Wizard. So we just go to next. It's like setting up any other application. And we'll agree to the license agreement because no one ever reads through all this. And then here it gives you some options. This might confuse some people. You're generally okay just hitting next, but if you really want to customize things, it has the ability to give you Classic IE, for example, lets you customize the title bar and status bar of Internet Explorer. I've personally never used that. This just lets you update Classic Shell as you go. And this is obviously what we want here is the Classic Start menu. And then we got Classic Explorer. And it says that adds a toolbar to Windows Explorer, replacing the copy UI and fixes some stability issues. So for right now, just simply because I'm just going to show you guys the Start menu only, I'm going to go through and I'm going to uncheck everything but the Start menu. And then we'll hit next. And then finally we're going to install. We have to give it administrative privileges because it has to write to the system. Okay, we're going to uncheck the view the README and then click finish. Now it might look like nothing happened. In fact, I may have to go set this up. I'm not sure if it'll show in here yet. Okay, so you click the start button first, and then it brings up a settings column rather than bringing the start menu up, and then asks, okay, so what start menu style do you want? Do you want the Windows 7 style that we were all used to with Windows 7? They also have like a smaller version of the Windows 7 start menu, and then they have way back, if you remember, using like Windows 95, Windows 98, and I think XP had the option too, where they had a smaller start menu. This one's really nice. If you have a small screen, it actually doesn't take up too much space. So we'll go with that one right now, just because it's the smallest, and I'll take it and show you. So we select that one, and then we hit OK. And now if you hit the Start button, lo and behold, you don't have that big ugly Start screen showing up anymore. You've got this nice lovely Start menu. And you're not just stuck with this. They allow you to edit different aspects of it. I think you could change the color. You could even change the button at the bottom, like what actually shows up there. Like instead of it being the Windows logo, you could have your own logo if you really wanted to. So that's replacing the Start menu. It's pretty useful. It's especially if you got a small screen or you just really hate those tiles like I did. The next thing I want to show you guys is an option that I haven't used in a while. Have you ever had a folder that you access quite often that you need, that you don't want to have to go in to the system like this? And of course it's going to be slow for a second because this is a virtual machine. Have you ever needed access to a folder? You don't want to have to go in here and you know, go through your folders and then try to figure out, you know, like wouldn't you rather, instead of having to do that, just have it right here on the screen? Well, there is sort of a way to do that. You right click on your taskbar. You can click up anywhere, just any blank spot, and you go up to toolbars, and then you click new toolbar, and then it's going to bring this up, and it looks like a file selection screen, but it's really a folder selection screen. You can see down here it says select folder, and I've already got a folder set up for this purpose, and this is what I used this feature for back when MP3s were more of a thing than they are now. I would set all my music up to show up down here. So I have a little folder here set up with some YouTube free music installed. And you'll notice that after I click the select button there, it put this little MP3 with an arrow next to it. Now the MP3, it won't be called that on your end unless you have your folder called MP3s. It'll be whatever the folder name is. It could be your dog's name or whatever you call it. But the important part is you click the double arrow there, and it will show you the files that are inside that folder. And once more, you can click them. I'm not going to click it now because it'll take 10 years for it to load up, but if you click these regular left click, it will play or open whatever the file is that you selected that's in the folder. So you can keep that down there. It'll stay down there forever until you get rid of it, and you'll have access to your files. And it's really useful for music because you know, you're opening up a Word document or you're typing along and you're just saying, hey, I want to listen to some music. Well, you don't have to go in and edit your folder or go into iTunes and select whatever. You can literally go right here and select the song and play it. And but remember, this doesn't work just for music. You can use it for documents or contacts or just about anything you would need to open files often in a directory. Now you might be asking, okay, how do I get rid of it? Let's say I don't need it anymore and it's still down there and it's annoying. Well, you go and you right click and select toolbars, and you notice that it has the MP3s here, and you just unselect that and poof, it's gone. Okay, now the next thing I was going to show you guys is going along with Windows 10, how annoying it is. I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of the lock screen. The lock screen is that thing that shows up before you can log in that basically displays the time and has a background on it. Well, the way you get rid of it is you go and you hit the Windows key and you hit R. And what that'll do is it'll bring up this run menu here. And once you do that, you're going to go in and you're going to type gpedit.msc. So we're going to go gpedit.msc. And then what that's going to do after a little bit is it should bring up the group policy editor. And that's what it brought up. Okay, so next what we're going to do is under computer configuration, you're going to go to administrative templates. So you're going to hit this little arrow over here. I'm going to pull this over so you guys can see a little better. So we're going to go computer configuration, which should already be open. You don't really have to click anything on it. And then click the little arrow next to Administrative Templates. Next, we're going to go down to Control Panel, the little arrow next to Control Panel, and then finally we're going to hit Personalization. Now, once you're in Personalization, you'll come over here to this side, and you notice it says Do Not Display the Lock Screen. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to double click on Do Not Display the Lock Screen, and it's going to bring this up. And you notice over here it says Not Configured, and then it has Enabled and Disabled. Well, do not display the lock screen, so we want to not display the lock screen. I know Windows, you'll notice that if you ever deal with the group policy editors, they have a really weird way of putting things. They'll be like, do not do this, and they'll be like, yes or no, and it's like, well, yes, do not do this. So we're going to go, yes, do not display the lock screen. So just kind of remember that it's an easy way to dealing with these is just yes and no rather than enabled and disabled. So we're going to hit enabled, and then we're going to go to apply. And then after that, you just go to OK, and you can close your group policy editor out. And you should not see ever again, hopefully, the lock screen. And then finally, I'm going to show you guys how to back up your system to disk image. This is a little bit more of an involved, a little bit more of an advanced sort of tip, but it's still good. So some people could probably figure it out. It's probably not that hard. So what we'll do is we'll go up. This is using the classic menu, by the way. If you don't have the classic menu, what you can do is on your regular Windows 10 start screen or start menu, whatever you want to call it, you'll find the search. If it's not there, you can just hit the button and literally start typing and it'll get to the search. And you type in Control Panel and you hit Enter. And you'll get to the Control Panel. Now, keep in mind we want the Control Panel, not the settings screen, not this. We don't want not PC settings. We don't want this. So we want the Control Panel. So next we're going to type in Backup and Restore. And you'll get to Backup and Restore Windows 7. It should show up on there. You don't even have to type the whole thing in. Just type in Backup and it should show up. We're going to click that. And then you're going to get to this screen. And then you're going to see a link over here that says Create a System Image. You're going to click that. And then it's going to sit here and look for a backup device. This may or may not work. I probably should have made a backup image before doing this. We'll see if it goes away. If not, I'll just talk you through the rest of this. So you'll get to this screen. This should eventually disappear. What you would want to do is you would want to plug in a USB drive or something ahead of time, or have another hard drive available. And what you would do is you would select where you're wanting to put your system, and you would select either on another hard drive, for example. Okay, so that went away. So we could say on another hard drive. It also has DVD, so it recognized my DVD burner, so I could actually make multiple DVDs of my system. You also have the ability on a network location, such as a file server, such as you could even, I think you can even use FTP. So you could go FTP, you could go to a Windows share, any kind of like internet drive that you may have set up, net drive. But after you select that, I'm going to go ahead and select it with DVD. It may not work for me. We'll see what happens. Okay, so after I selected DVD, it says the backup could take up to 12 gigabytes of disk space. Well, that probably isn't a very good idea to back up to a DVD, or even worse, a CD, because, well, a DVD is like 4 gigs, and then a CD is like 700 megabytes. So obviously, it would take quite a bit of disk in order to fill up 12 gigs. So probably that's probably your worst scenario is using a DVD. But anyway, whatever you select, you'll get to this screen, and it'll say the following drives will be backed up. System reserved, which I guess that's the boot drive. I don't know why you would really back that part up. And then your C system, which is obviously your C drive. And then you would hit start backup. I'm not going to do it because it's not going to work, but that's how you would do it. And the cool thing is like, you could put that in a drawer or something, maybe in a different building. If you're doing something in Windows and you're doing it professionally, like you're a photographer or some kind of like professional video editor or whatever, and you want to make sure that your videos are backed up in case of anything, well, you could move it to it. You could buck this up and then take it to another building, or back it up to a network drive that's in another building. So let's say that the building you're in catches fire and your computer burns up. Well, no problem, because you have this backup already made. So that's pretty much all I was going to show you guys today. It's just a quick little tutorial on things you can do in Windows 10 to make it a little less painful. We got our little classic start menu going, and we don't have to worry about that pesky lock screen anymore. So it makes Windows 10 a little bit more friendly and usable, and not so annoying. But I hope I've been some help, and I hope you guys enjoy my videos, and see you guys on the next one. See you later.